Ooh, it has been some time since we've done Lego Star Wars. Let's go. Hello and welcome back to another video here in the Lego room. I hope you are well. Today is a very exciting day because it has been far too long since we have discussed Lego Star Wars before we had a rumour or anything to talk about for Lego Star Wars. Of course, with the new rules around showing leaked images, it meant that I haven't shown any of the images that are potentially coming out at the very start of August. I will, however, be doing a buyer's guide at the very end of July for all of the sets that are coming out in August when we have all the official images and we can show you what is what and what I'll be doing with my money. However, for July there is only one set releasing, so I will not be doing a buyer's guide, so you can count this 30 seconds as a buyer's guide for July Lego Star Wars. We're of course getting one set, and as the buildable B1 battle droid on STAP. Set number 75428 will be £120 here in the UK, and it will have 1,088 pieces. I do not know what price it will be in America because of the tariffs. I've absolutely no idea what it is going to clock in America, but it'll be £120 here in the UK. It'll be one that I will be picking up, and I'll probably pick a second copy up as well to give away on our Whatnot stream about a week or so after it has been released. Today, however, is a very, very exciting day because we've had news about sets that are coming out in 2026 for Lego Star Wars. I know it is boiling, it's literally roasting outside, and I'm talking about winter 2026, January 2026. There are some really exciting sets potentially coming out at the start of January. Now, this I will say, and I need to obviously do a disclaimer for this, there is no guarantee that all of these sets will definitely happen. There's no guarantee that these are all correct. The source that I've sort of found them from and has been circulating around online, I'm going to list the sets that I believe will probably happen. We don't know the price for them. We do not know how many pieces there will be for them, but it is a fun thing to speculate about, and it is something is really interesting to know kind of what we will be getting at the start of January. So take this, of course, with a pinch of salt. I imagine most of these things will happen. We just don't know what price they will be and how many pieces and all that type of thing. So let's dive right into it. And all of these sets at the moment have been listed as winter, which will mean they'll be in January of 2026. And we're going to get a battle pack at the very start of January, which kind of is an easy prediction to have made in the first place. But the battle pack that we've been suggested that we're going to get is a Siege of Mandalore battle pack, which will be a battle pack comprising of 2 332nd troopers and 2 super commandos, which of course things that we've seen before, but I do think this is an interesting take. A lot of people not convinced when that 332nd battle pack came out. I think it was at a time when prices were starting to be hiked, and lo and behold, we're in a period of time once again where prices are being hiked again, regardless of the tariff situation that is happening in America. So I'll be very interested to see how that battle pack is received. I thought that maybe we were going to have to wait a few years before we saw a 332nd battle pack or set of clones return to shelves. The Mandalorian will play a huge role in Lego Star Wars in 2026, and that is of course because the Mandalorian and Grogu movie will be coming out in the summer of 2026, so you can expect to see a lot of Mandalorian in 2026, and it's going to start in January by the looks of it. There looks as though there's going to be at least 2 Mandalorian sets at the very start of January, both in play scale form. This will be a Razor Crest, probably similar to what we've seen in the trailers so far, and what I have is the leaked trailer, which is what I'm using the information for these 2 sets that I'm about to tell you about, which is of course a Razor Crest. The second one of course is an AT-AT as well, which we've seen. No real surprise that they're going to do a play scale version of these, particularly with the Mandalorian movie on the horizon. What I'll be really interested to see, and what I was trying to get to there, is whether or not we get a Zeb with this. He's of course been seen in the trailer in the Razor Crest, and I think that if we could get a new version of Zeb, probably in that New Republic uniform, I think that would be really cool. I definitely want to see a return to Zeb in minifigure form. So these 2 sets, no idea what they'll be priced at. You can imagine they'll certainly be in that 3-figure bracket, £100 plus for play scale versions of both a Mandalorian Razor Crest and an AT-AT as well. The set that really, really interests me, I have to say, is a set that has been titled Cobb Vanth versus Cad Bane, which is of course from the Book of Boba Fett. Now, this interests me for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I like both of these characters, and I think they'll be very cool minifigures. Hopefully, they won't stray too far away from what they've already done previously with Cad Bane, because all the Cad Bane minifigures generally look pretty good, and usually on Whatnot go for a pretty penny. Cobb Vanth as well, I'd love to see in minifigure form. There's supposed to be a third minifigure in this set. I'm not entirely sure who would that be, but I imagine in a Mandalorian Boba Fett world, as that was the Mandoverse, I'd imagine it could be Mando. It might well be somebody else. It could be Fennec. It could be anyone, but there's rumoured to be a third figure at the moment in that set from what I've seen online. The reason this set really interests me, I've got to say, is because of the fact that Book of Boba Fett wasn't received all that well. I think we all wanted a little bit more from the Book of Boba Fett, and I know that Tamora Morrison's been very vocal online about potentially getting a second series of the Book of Boba Fett, which I would love to see. I would love to see him do Boba Fett in the way that he wants to do Boba Fett. I'm a huge fan, and as you can see, I just realised in the corner of shot they've got my signed Tamora Morrison Lego Star Wars set there as well, and we gave a couple of those away on Whatnot previously, but that is my version right there, and I would love to see sort of justice for Tamora Morrison and the Book of Boba Fett and the Boba Fett character. That is something that is on my wish list for the future, but this set does interest me because, again, along with that previous 330-second backpack, it's not something that's been received all that well in the past, so I'll be really curious to see how this set does. I imagine because of the coolness of these two minifigures, it will probably be all right and probably do quite well anyway. The last two things that we've got as things that we think will happen, certainly I've brought them to the table as leaks that I kind of think will happen. Firstly, you've got the Darth Vader bust, which is supposed to take a similar shape to the current busts that we're seeing for Marvel with Iron Man and with Spider-Man. That kind of basically what you're seeing of me here, which is the shoulders, neck and headpiece of Vader. We've of course already seen an exclusive version of this in the past, and I imagine this will be a slightly reduced size, smaller version, kind of like we've seen with Iron Man and Spider-Man. Not one that I'm particularly that excited about. The helmet, which you can also see above my head there, isn't perfectly done as well, so I'd be really curious to see whether they can justify doing a bust of Darth Vader. Of course, if we're going to do a bust of anybody for Lego Star Wars, for casual fans, for general fans, I would always say, of course, Vader is probably the way to go. It's that one iconic character, that one iconic headpiece and helmet, so I do think that's probably along the right lines, and they're probably testing the water to see whether or not busts of characters for Lego Star Wars will indeed work. The final set is one that I predicted 2 years ago, or a summer and a half ago, I can't quite remember, but I predicted that we would end up getting a mid-scale Venator, and of course this year we ended up getting a mid-scale Acclimator, which was kind of a surprise to most people, I would say. And just like that, I've got it in hand as well. It is very cool. It's quite small. Of course, they're mid-scale. They're not huge, but it is quite small for what it is. I actually really like mine. I thought it was quite satisfying to put together. I was, however, wanting a Venator to begin with, and I still want a Venator now, and I will be picking up a mid-scale Venator, but I'll be very interested to see what price point they price it up at. Bearing in mind the Acclimator is £45 here in the UK, and we've seen ships as expensive as £75 in the mid-scale range, so I'll be really curious as to the price point and the pieces that they use in this mid-scale Venator. So there you have it. That is everything that we know about sets for 2026 for Lego Star Wars in January. Not all of this will potentially transpire to be 100% accurate. There'll maybe be a tweak here, there'll maybe be a set that we haven't discovered, there'll maybe be a slight difference in a set that I have mentioned, but you're getting a general theme already of what we're going to see for Lego Star Wars at the very start of 2026. I think there's some stuff to be excited about there. I always like it when we have a really strong start to the year for Lego Star Wars, and a half a dozen sets in January is always a really good starting point. It kicks off the year really nicely. Hopefully some of these sets will look really good. Hopefully they'll not be totally expensive. We're obviously seeing price hikes year on year at the moment. It's something I've covered on the channel, is the inflation plus price per piece, and I've seen it called shrinkflation reduction as well, where it's a reduction of pieces and size against the inflation of price. And yeah, I'll be really curious to see what these sets look like. I'm very excited to sort of have a little look at them. Make sure if you're a Lego Star Wars fan, you are subscribed to the channel. You'll be able to see the images of all of the new Lego Star Wars sets that are coming out in August. And when we do get the images, I'll be doing a buyer's guide at the very end of July. Lots of stuff that I'm very excited about. Lots of those sets that we'll be giving away on Whatnot as well. So if you are new to Whatnot, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and use the link in the bio. You'll get £10 free credit. We are always giving away Lego Star Wars sets during our stream, so it's definitely one to go and check out. Come along with some free credit for you there. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a while since we've talked about Lego Star Wars, but it's been very nice to do, and hopefully you'll see it from me in a couple of weeks' time as well with that buyer's guide. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the very next video. Bye.